Okay, so call is recorded. Thank you guys for joining and taking the time to chat with us today. Let me also share my screen. Okay, can everyone see? PowerPoint, good, okay. So leasing manager call, it's June, and to be honest, it's almost July, which is a little freaky. I know a lot of our properties have some move outs and move ins and all of that. So we're pumping through this year really, really quick. I wanted to start, of course, with shout outs because we just have such great properties with Horizon and everybody's doing amazing. But quick shout out to Lindsay Wagner, Stadium Park in Eugene. They had a one-day sale earlier this month. They had 31 leases, which is just super solid, and that's during dead week too. So really great results there. Phoenix SAC, I don't think I see Jessica on the call, but she had a one-day sale on Saturday. They had 30 leases. So obviously Sacramento, California. And then our top 3 renewal properties, they are Willow Place. So that's our one-man show in Pullman. So Chris is doing great, 54.55%. Enclave is so close. Austin couldn't be on the call today, but they're just super, super close to that, hitting Willow Place. They're 54.48. And Chase Village, not too far behind. Ariel's crushing it, 51.68. So great job, Christina and the team, because I know you guys do a lot of support and assistance there. If you guys have anything that you want me to do a shout out for you and your property, chat and add a comment, and I want to make sure that we just celebrate all those wins for you guys. So shoot me a little Teams chat or chat in the Zoom, and I'll get you guys noticed. So moving on a little bit, we've got just the standard housekeeping. I know it's not the fun part, but we have to bring it up every time. So super quick here, lead management. It's crunch time, everybody knows that. So follow-ups need to be super, super tight. Don't forget about those HRA standards of 48 to 72 hours. For best results, you really have to assist each other. Teamwork makes dream work. So even if you weren't the one who toured, or you're not that lead person, that's why we have Entrada notes and activity log notes. So best results, everybody assists in everybody's leads and follow-ups, and that's going to really make the best impact. We, just a reminder, have that June 100% contest. So the newsletter, Aisha should be doing an update on where everybody's sitting right now. So only a few more days to finish. So finish strong. Get your team pumped up every single time the phone rings. Let your team know that's 100% call coming through. Go get it. It's just super exciting to see the great phone calls that have been coming through. Presley and her team, this last weekend, I swear I had like 20 or 30 from them that were just amazing. Chase Village, as you guys see on the newsletters, they're always a leader in there. So we're doing a great job across all the sites. Also, so BM, before move-in, this is the time, let's finish up super strong. So finalize your placements. I know Nika said that's what she's doing this weekend. That BUA bulk unit assignment, again, I hate that E word. Nail down your move-in communication. So is your, welcome to blank property email, is that all set out? Are you completely nailed down there? Show your residents what customer service really is by moving in with Horizon. So that's the goal here. Let's just set us up for success. Preparation is going to be your key in success. Questions so far, just really quick? No? Okay. See, everybody's taking notes. I've got Lindsay on the call to talk about some new features.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
So before I jump into my quick update, I also want to give a shout out to everybody for the phenomenal GPR growth. We are seeing like record highs for GPR growth across Horizon's portfolio. And Lauren made a mention of this yesterday on our manager call. And I just think it's important for you guys to know about that too. Like, you guys are, heavily involved in that, and you guys have a great impact on that as well, conventional and student. So big pat on your guys' back for that. Like, you guys are doing a phenomenal job, and it's been great to see the results that we are producing coast to coast, really. So my update for you guys today is a quick sneak peek into something, or just like a heads up on a new tool that's available in Entrata. We know you guys have a crazy, crazy busy summer. So we're not going to enforce you guys, like, we're not going to ask that you guys start using this summer unless you like really want to, right? So it's this Craigslist tool. The Craigslist tool in Entrata is not meant to post for you, but what it's meant to do is it's going to help you post more quality ads. Megan, who's on the call from marketing, has been an absolute angel, and she's gone through and she's created these templates, which you can kind of, this is what Claire has up on the screen right now, is a snapshot of what kind of what the tool looks like when you go into it. I'm going to be recording a training, and we'll get you guys additional training on this, but we really won't be asking you guys to start utilizing it until September. But just to give you guys a heads up, it is something you guys are going to be paying for. All properties pay for it. But what it does is it's going to allow us to see what ads are most successful, right? Because I'm sure you guys are always wondering, like, man, I'm posting all these Craigslist ads, but which ones are actually producing results? Like, what's being effective? So this tool is going to help us find that information out. But also, I don't know about you guys, but I have a brain fart. Like, sometimes I'm just like, man, I don't know what, like, I can't be creative today on like how to make the post like interesting, and then, you know, like new formats and things like that. So Megan's templates that she's set up all have different formats. It's going to pull your pricing, has merge fields. So those are really the big updates. But again, it's not meant to post for you. It's just going to assist in the posting process. And then it's going to allow us to be able to pull some analytics on the back end and see how successful it is, what markets Craigslist is most successful in. And then, you know, just going forward, we'll be able to, it may also be able to allow us to help you guys post from Seattle or Oregon or wherever our support teams are. But we still have to get over the, you know, they know where we are when we're posting. So we'll have to overcome that hurdle. But this might help us out a little bit there as well. So that's the update on the Craigslist tool. Is Megan going to give the ILS update, or do you want me to do that?
You can go ahead, Lindsay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So also, you guys may or may not have seen Emmett's email last week about apartments.com not having to manually update your pricing anymore. Do you guys see that? Okay. So we've been testing the tool in Entrata, and of course we found a broken setting in Entrata. So we're just kidding. Emmett's has been working really hard and really diligently on this as well. And it's just one of those where we're gonna learn as we go. So that has been paused. It was working for student housing, but to make things consistent, we decided to pause the feed from Entrata to the ILSs. So you guys have to go back in and manually update your apartments.com pricing now. And we anticipate that this will probably be updated in September when Entrata does their next quarterly release. So that's the update there. Long term, our goal, Vernica, we're testing the Entrata website at Village Green right now. And our goal would be to eventually have everybody on the Entrata website, because what this all is going to do for you guys is create a one-stop shop for pricing updates. So you wouldn't have to go to the source to update your website. You wouldn't have to go to apartments.com and whatever other ILSs you're using to update your pricing. As long as it's updated in Entrata, it's going to push out and be accurate to your website and all these other things. So you guys might see some big changes happening after turn. But in the meantime, just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek as to kind of what's coming up for you. So those are all my updates. I appreciate you guys. Keep up the great work. Have a great summer.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm glad you mentioned that because that was on my to-do list too. So don't forget about that add freshness button in apartments.com. Even if there's no changes to your specials or your pricing, that's a super good tool. Megan looks in there. So always good to be on top of it before she gets to it. So moving on again, big picture. So I know I brought this up a ton. I brought it up last month, but we really just want to urge you to look into your process from the outside, from the big picture. You know, being on site, you tend to get a little tunnel vision. And so our goal is to have you just stand back, look at it, and view it from a customer experience. What is our customer's experience as they're going through our processes, as they're calling, Googling, apartments.com, all of that. Send test emails, submit guest cards, and take a look there. When was the last time that you tested that leasing process? So if you've noticed something changes, or if you've noticed a change, even on like a lease agreement in Entrada, it used to say one thing, now it doesn't say that at all. Who have you contacted? If you haven't contacted anybody yet, reach out. So we want to encourage you, if you see something that looks different and you haven't heard an updated about it, send an email. And if you don't know who to email, shoot me a Teams and I'll let you know. But we just really want you guys to be a bigger part of that process, because you guys really know, you're the experts there. You're going to have a much greater chance at identifying these things before we do. So it makes everybody's life a lot easier. And that's kind of the goal, is that you guys, we know you guys are in it. We know that, that's happening and your eyes are open. So big picture, I know auditing, it's one of those things that nobody really loves to do, but it's super, super beneficial. So I have Megan on the call to host a little social and reputation. So just let me know when to click forward. I'll click forward now.
Perfect. Thanks, Claire. All right, so we are halfway through 2019. Let's see how much everyone has grown this year. So Phoenix SAC grew their Instagram following by 25% with 234 new followers. This is huge. If you're not following them, you should be following them. You should be following all of our properties. Take the time today to definitely check out this post in particular. This is really inspiring. This isn't something that you would expect to see from a property. It's basically a really authentic moment of struggle and success. So I highly recommend that everyone checks this out. Next slide. Okay, so next up we've got Chase Village. They added 99 new followers this year. This is their top Instagram post for 2019, and it shows the maintenance team, working together to keep the community safe for residents during the Snowmageddon. All right, and we've got UEdge. They added 73 new followers. They've been adding a lot of creative events, so if you need some new ideas, definitely check them out. They did a half-K relay, which is an extremely short distance. And this video, shows the grueling finish line to express how tiring finals can be, which relates really well with their audience. All right, so let's move on to Facebook. Again, Facebook, maintaining Facebook, constant Facebook traffic and engagement is huge, because it also increases your rank in Google. So definitely keep that in mind. We've got Chase Village again. They gained 79 new fans on Facebook. Their top post is from the housing fair at their sister properties. All right, we've got Pinnacle Mountain View. They gained 36 new fans this year. They really spend a lot of time focusing on their residents and their team to promote the lifestyle. And then we've got Centennial Housing. This is a fun video during the 3 for 3 challenge that we had a couple months ago. It shows the team, being active, having fun, just kind of like a silly post. And so now we're going to move on to Reputation. So with Reputation, these properties have received the most reviews in 2019. If your property needs to improve your reputation scores, it's really simple. You just got to ask your residents. Resident events are a great time to genuinely ask a resident, how your experience is. And if it's a great experience, hey, could you leave us a review? If it's not a great experience, what can we do to fix it? So with Reputation, the other part of that is response time. So VNC, UC Denton, Crossing Place are doing a phenomenal job because they are exceeding the pledge. Our standard response time is 48 hours, but VNC reduced that as low as 18 hours, UC Denton 22, and Crossing Place 27. So looking at this as a whole, it's important to understand how we're representing ourselves online, because more and more data is coming out confirming that social reputation affects every stage of the leasing funnel. So for example, when residents are looking, when researching for apartments, 75% of them are looking at your reviews. 78% of the purchase decisions are influenced by social content. So if you notice, all of the examples that I provided earlier are authentic. It's the residents, it's their neighbors, it's the team, it's the people they see in their community. And then we've got 69% of residents expect communities to respond to reviews, and we far exceed that. We uphold the pledge. We don't just respond, we respond within 48 hours. So if you and your team are having issues with any of these parts, with content, with reputation, just feel free to reach out. You know, I'm always available if you need graphics. The design team's amazing. And if you're not sure who to contact, on the next slide, we've got our distribution email. So just contact marketing@horizonra.com.
Had a PowerPoint glitch, so
It's okay.
had to make some adjustments, but that's what we do. So thank you, Megan. Love those. Just resident engagement. When I'm scrolling through, it makes me feel so good, just seeing you guys interacting with the residents. So really great content there. I wanted to jump to a leadership, which Lindsay shared this with me, and managing to lead. So if you want this, I'll post it, or I'll send a follow-up email at the end of the call, and I'll include a link to this. There's just such a huge difference between being a manager and being a leader. So think about which one you want to be. So common mistakes to avoid. So with failing to act, this can be just failing to act at all, or act sufficiently to a problem or an issue. A lot of the times it's just an uncomfortable conversation with a team or a resident member, but they do have to occur. So it's just make sure that we're taking that action. Mishandling change, you know, participate and involve yourself in changes within the community, in the new systems. You know, I know that Horizon's a growing company, so we're making changes. We have growth coming, and it's all great. There might be glitches along the way, but we do our best to make sure that you guys have the best success moving forward, and that we take care of them for you. Neglecting your team. This one, you know, we want to engage everybody, and this is something that Greg touched on in the manager call the other day. And, you know, get their input, their experiences, and, you know, we want to hear their opinions so they can be a part of the celebration. You know, don't forget the benefits and letting your team know when they're doing something right. Failing people problems. So be mindful when you're dealing with issues that involve people, because that's really what we all do as leasing managers. Most of our job is just people. It's customer service. So be proactive in addressing issues before they grow and become unmanageable. And for me, number 1 and number 4 are super tightly connected. You know, it's not just about making sure that we're acting, but that we're acting urgently. And the sooner that you address an issue, the better. The longer you wait, the harder it is to address it, and then it becomes even more uncomfortable. Learn from experience. Over managing. So self-motivated team members are not going to stick around for the long run if they're being micromanaged. So be clear with your instructions. And once you delegate, obviously, you know, provide that support, but you don't have to hover. So number 7, to avoid encouraging burnout. I think the quickest way to encourage burnout is we tend to find our strong team members and delegate the bulk of responsibilities to those few, which that could be you know, in your team. So don't be afraid to speak up, but be mindful of how you're dividing and delegating tasks to your team members. And ignorance is arrogance for the last one. You know, admit if there's something that you don't know, or you know, when you need to get approval from somebody, it's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to say, I don't know. And I know that was, you know, something that was really hard for me to learn. I'm just so like, sure, yeah, I know what you're talking about, because I just didn't want to feel stupid. But with this, there's so much I've learned, and it's the first thing, especially being new. I always tell people, if you're new, it's okay to say, I don't know. Everybody understands, everybody's been there before. So basically, the counter, now that you know what to avoid, now you can start looking at those opportunities. The first one is managing weaknesses and building strengths. It's useful to develop your team and manage them, but it's even more important to focus on their strengths. So ask your team, I love this, ask your team what they like to do best, and what they feel most confident in doing, and utilize those strengths when possible. We have so many great people, so if POP is not your strength, figure out who on your team is really great at POP, and have them delegate those tasks to them. That'll be something that they enjoy doing, and they'll enjoy taking on those responsibilities. Hiring better. I know we're not always the people who are fully involved in the hiring process, but I do encourage you just to make sure if it's your team member that you're going to be hiring for, be as involved as you can in that. So ask questions to identify if they're going to be a fit for your team, if they're going to be a fit for the role, and a fit for your brand. So always think about who your brand is. Practicing strategic firing. This one, again, not something that we're always super involved in, but just make sure you can do your part by being observant and, know the day-to-day performances. So make a note of the shortcomings, obviously log it, and engage your team members. Give them the opportunity to explain and then listen. It's okay to determine whether it's an issue of not knowing or just not being willing. So that's definitely something always to keep in mind. Generational differences. I think with today's time, it's very different. We have student and we have conventional, and then we have the hybrid properties. So they're real, remember that. Different generations have different mindsets and goals. So be willing to have conversations in a way that speak to each generation, especially if you have different generations amongst your team. And then encourage peak performance. This one seems kind of like the obvious, but end the fear of making a mistake with your team members. So let them know, allow them, delegate those tasks to them, and allow them to make a mistake and to branch out. Because when a mistake is made, it's a teachable moment for you. I know that, that was one part of the leasing manager boot camps, how much of our day is training. And that's, hour and a half, 20% of our day. We want to make sure. So mistakes are okay. We can always correct them, and you get to use that teachable moment. It's an experience for both of you. Hold yourself to the highest standards as well. It's really that big one. So people stay or leave primarily because of their boss, and be mindful to who you are as a boss and how you treat your team. Hold yourself to that highest standard. So set that example for them, and then lead by example. So if you're telling your team they need to get 80% on their prospect scorecards, get 80% on your prospect scorecards. You have to set that super, super high for yourself and show them that you're upholding the same expectations across the board. I really thought that this was just super great leadership opportunities, and I love looking at this as an opportunity because we have so many opportunities in our day-to-day, whether it's providing great customer service, training our team, and growing, making those goals and growing within, our positions and within Horizon. So I'll include, again, a link to this so you guys can read through and let me know what you think. If you guys ever want to share your podcast, Lindsay and I will share podcasts back and forth, or we share it on the manager channel. Take advantage of the Leasing Manager channel. If you listen to a great podcast or you read a really good article, share it there so we can, all grow and learn together. And then I'm super, super sad. It's our last call until September, so this is going to be me tonight. I couldn't decide between this picture or the one of Will Ferrell crying and drinking a glass of wine that's spilling all over him, because either one's going to be me later. I am so sad that we don't get to talk until September, but you guys have a lot going on. And just remember, even though we're not going to hold these calls, I am here for you if you need anything. Team HRA is here, and I've got your back. So let me know if there's anything I can do to help this summer in the next few months. And if you guys have any questions, let us know. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Claire. Have a good summer, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.